Welcome to Jurassic Park.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Why don't we just wait here for a little while?
Do you want to know what it is?
There's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
There's a special rug in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch.
He peed on my rug.
He peed on the dude's rug.
Do your worst.
Final report of the commercial starship Nostromo.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Welcome to your feature presentation. I am your host, Heath Fall. Today we are talking about movies coming out this weekend and best movie scores. Joining me today is Andrew McKay.
What's up, Heath? Listen, another trivia pop quiz for you.
Ooh, delightful.
Back to the Future style. I know you're a bigger fan of Back to the Future than I am.
I'm backtracking you. Keep going.
Was that Star Wars? Oh, okay. That's the Die Hard theme song, I think, isn't it?
I cannot name a Die Hard theme. I was just like, now you've got me thinking, like, is there a oh yeah, like the ching 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 ching, like it's like it's subtle. It's a subtle theme, but there's a Die Hard theme. Don't worry.
Wow.
If you're freaking out, there's a theme.
The mystery, the legend, the music legend, Heath Fall, everybody. So, pop quiz trivia for Back to the Future.
Yes.
The time machine's flux capacitor, right?
Which, of course, is what makes time travel possible.
Of course. Where did director Robert Zemeckis find his inspiration for the flux capacitor?
In a casing full of used pinball machine parts.
Wow, that's right. No, I'm just kidding.
I have no idea. What is the inspiration?
A car stereo.
Ooh.
Do you know anything about car stereos from the 80s? Because I sure don't, and that doesn't make sense to me.
No, that is a gap in my knowledge, unfortunately.
1980s car stereos aren't up on the tippy top of your tippy tongue?
No. No, they're not.
Oh, wow.
Tippy top of my tippy tongue.
Yes, well, that's a true fact for you. You're welcome.
Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that. I love Back to the Future. We need to talk about that. Every time we do this, we talk about different movies. I'm just like, think of all the movies we want to talk to. We'll get to them eventually.
And you know what also we should do is an episode where one person plays the 5 seconds of a score and the other person has to guess it.
Yes, I love that idea. Like a little trivia showdown.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
And we should also do some movie trivia. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Do you want to start a podcast?
Dude, should we podcast?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we were joking before the show that it would be funny if Andrew forgot that we were on the podcast because Andrew asked me a question in all seriousness that I can't believe he asked me.
I showed him, if you're watching our full video podcast on YouTube, you can see me holding a coaster that in my mind, apparently my wife and I went to Florida alone to Hollywood Studios and went to Oga's Cantina. And I said, Heath, have you ever been to Disney or Hollywood Studios in any capacity ever? And we were literally on that trip together. That was us going, my wife and I going to this cantina was probably the only 2 hours of the entire week where we weren't with Heath and Emma.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing.
Okay. So I thought that was hilarious because you asked me, and I was like, not only have we been there together, we also recorded an episode of a podcast about our experience.
I know.
It's very cemented that we went there together. But I'm going to give you a pass. It's in the lore.
It's in the podcast lore.
But I'm going to let it pass because I think it's a little bit of parent brain, I'll call it. You experience this. I know I experienced this too. It's just like, man, when you go somewhere with young kids, it is just like there's parts of it that it's just like that. Oh, they were having a meltdown or they needed to be fed. Like there's different levels of like what's important to you.
Yes.
And you're on vacation, you want to have fun, but then at the same time, like some stuff gets kicked out. Like, oh, I have a great memory of going to Olga's Cantina for you, your wife and son.
Yeah.
But you just forgot I was there.
But that's a good point about
in the cantina, so I give it a pass.
That's a good point about parent brain, dad brain, because when I got this coaster, when we went to Oga's, I was like, oh yeah, we went to Oga's. And that was the place where a robot DJ screamed, like the robot DJ in Oga's Cantina shrieks in multiple instances through the evening. And it absolutely scared my son, and he started bawling. So that's exactly what I think of. I think of, oh yeah, Oga's Cantina, where my wife and I were enjoying a few drinks, and my son absolutely lost it because of the robot DJ.
Yeah. I love that for like little kids, for some reason, they'll see certain things and just be like, I hate that. I want it gone.
Yeah, no, I'm going to die.
Well, thank you for tuning into the Parent Podcast Hour. And, we encourage you, So yeah, let's just jump right in here. We're doing, we want to talk about first, before I get ahead of myself, I will answer myself.
Seriously.
Let's talk about movies coming out this weekend. We got some good ones, right?
We sure do. We have Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. We also have the sequel. So it's interesting that they release the first movie and the second movie in the same weekend. The sequel being the Garfield movie.
Oh, is that a sequel?
Yeah, it's the sequel to Furiosa.
I thought you were I thought you were talking. I thought that was a sequel to the other Garfield movie. I totally forgot about our joke. Yeah, so it's called Furiosa Part 1 and then Garfield Furiosa Reborn. So.
Garfield Furiosa Returns.
Yeah. I don't know why, it's really satisfying when you have a good movie weekend that this is a great, for me, this is a great for whoever I'm going with, if it's just me and a friend or my wife, oh, we're going to go see Furiosa. But then if you're going with a family, you can see a Garfield movie and
yes,
that's satisfying to me. There's good movies out and it's a fun weekend, whatever your situation is there.
Yeah. When you're able to just say, let's go see a movie, I know there's something there for whichever social situation you're in. It's a good weekend.
Yeah. And you can just, we can do our usual and just go see it together, but separately. And then you'll just forget I was there. So.
Yeah.
Softly crying. Let's read some synopsises. Obviously, if you've been listening to the show, I'm really excited for Furiosa. I'm a big Mad Max fan, and I'm really excited for this.
Yeah. So Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, is the origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max.
Yeah, it's a post, apocalyptic movie. This is a prequel to Fury Road. And I love this series. I'm really excited for it. And Chris Hemsworth, it looks like he's going to play an insane character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just excited. Yeah, that's going to be my go see this movie. I'm ready.
I'm excited for him to play a villain. Because it seems like he's a really funny guy. He can very naturally portray comical, funny characters.
Charter.
So I'm excited for him to be the villain. I spent so much time watching him be Thor.
I really hope we are going to get a real villain. I hope they're not going to be oh, he's a bad guy, but he's got a heart of gold, and he's going to get I don't know this. I haven't seen it, obviously, but I really hope we get a true villain, because I feel like that'd be really fun to see him kind of stretch in different things like that. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, Garfield.
So, yeah, then the Furiosa 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. The Garfield movie. After Garfield's unexpected reunion with his long-lost father, the Raggedy Alley cat Vic, he and his canine friend Odie are forced from their perfectly pampered lives to join Vic on a risky heist. I think that's adding to the canon of Garfield.
If you've listened to the podcast before, I'm a huge Garfield fan. I'm really excited about this movie.
Did you know how much I love Garfield?
Do you?
I have read every single comic strip of Garfield at least twice.
That's amazing. I apologize for dissing on it and being so aggressively against it.
You know what? You're off the pod.
You know what? You're off the pod. I'm out of order. What?
I'm, Your Honor, I'm out of order.
I don't know what to do in this situation. No, it does look really fun. So I didn't know you were such a big Garfield fan. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Tell
I
me
was
about-
homeschooled, so there's only so many ways you can go. Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield were my main mediums of entertainment.
Right.
I actually developed an eye problem because I read my Garfield comics too close to my face that I had to go to the eye doctor.
Wow.
I know.
Was that resolved?
I have glasses now.
Is that because of that?
I think so.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's regular, but that's what I believe. That's
You
what I
know,
choose to believe.
Next time, as all of us, we should take this, that the next time you think you love something so much, have you
Yeah.
given yourself a permanent eye damage because of it?
Yeah, seriously. You think you like Star Wars? Have you damaged your retinas by loving Star Wars so much? No. I don't think so. Anyway, those are the movies coming out this weekend. Don't damage your eyes.
Damage your eyes. And just in case our sarcasm didn't hit, Garfield is not a sequel to Furious.
Yeah, yes. And then you need to go to the eye doctor to see if you can pick up on some sarcasm.
And, shout out to eye doctors out there. They're
Mm.
they really have their eye on the ball.
All right. Heath, drop it. Drop it. We're done now. Gee whiz.
No. Hey, no.
Leave it.
Leave it. We joke that we love giving our children commands as if they were dogs.
Yeah.
Call us bad parents, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, Lucy, leave it. No.
What do you have? What do you
No
have?
bite. Yeah.
No bite. That's real. August started to bite.
Ooh.
Anyway, okay. We're doing movie scores.
Movies.
Top 5 movie scores for Heath and I.
Mhm.
And we're going back to the beloved, the trusted Gorley method.
Gorley method. And I want to shout out to the Gorley method was invented by Matt Gorley. And he's a great podcaster. He has so many things that just look him up sometime. But they do with Gorley and Rust, which is a horror podcast. He's on Conan's podcast. I think it's Conan Needs a Friend, I believe it's called. Just a cool podcaster, and this is one of his stratagems. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, did I just hell diver there? But
What?
with stratagem.
Oh. Do you play Helldivers? I've never
I
played that.
do. I'm a diver. I dive.
For democracy.
Yes. But yeah, so today we're getting into our favorite movie scores. So we have a top 5, and the rule is if it's on somebody else's list, we wait till it's up to that tier to talk about it.
Yeah. Can I start us? Because I think that my list will have the most, what's the word? Weird out of the box.
Yeah.
So
My list is pretty straightforward. I mean, I think there's a reason why I consider these the best, and we're going to talk about why specific movie scenes or maybe songs that really take them. But yeah, I feel like my list is pretty straightforward. Not a lot of surprises.
good. I hope that we have some different ones. We differ a little bit. So, small movie, probably no one's ever heard of, Inception. Do you have Inception? on
I
your
think
list?
I think I told you we're not doing indie movies, so you got to pick another one.
Oh, my bad. Is this on your list, Heath? Inception?
It is not. No.
Oh, great. So, Inception, fun movie, but the score, I think I've listened to the score all the way through twice as many times as I've seen the movie or more. As you said last episode, I did just graduate with my master's, so there was many nights of homework and writing papers. So I gravitate towards movie scores, and the Inception score, pieces of it were definitely part of my regular consumption or background noise for writing papers. So Time from Inception is among the top 5 songs for the entire year of 2023 for me.
Yeah, it is a great one. I was going to say, as soon as you said Inception, I thought Time, just because the whole soundtrack is such a quality piece. But then specifically time is just like,
Yes.
oh.
It's so iconic. So good.
Yeah, I think for me, I like instrumental music, especially movie scores and like video game scores, even because I think you can, for me, I can do a lot of things while I'm listening to that. Like
Yes.
college days, this might be a surprising one, but my jam in college when I was like writing papers or doing something that needed like a lot of concentration, I would throw on the Halo 2 soundtrack.
No surprise.
Yeah. Which there's that ones, but there's just like a lot of like lo-fi beats that go on to it. And it's just like, it's just nice. Just something on the background, a lot of synths, a lot of chill, kind of beats. And oh man, it's fun.
That was tight. Wait a second.
Remix.
Oh.
All right, so that was your number 5. My number 5 is How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, that's not on my list. That's surprising.
This one, I think for me, it's a quality score, but it's recently, within the past couple of years, I feel like it's really just been like, man, that is just in my head, and it's just, again, it's just a quality thing there, but Flight specifically, the song
Dude.
Flight,
Is it Test Flight, right?
Yes, Test Flight.
Yes,
correct.
Test Flight. Man, Test Flight gets me, and like when I play that in the car, Test Flight gets my toddler pumped like green tea gets me pumped.
You don't want to
It's
see
insane.
Andrew on green tea. He is he's incorrigible.
But the sight of seeing August listen to the first 10 seconds of Test Flight where it goes ba-da-dum, and he just starts flailing his arms. He's like, I love the song.
That's so great.
So good.
Yeah, and I guess they're making a live action one.
I saw that.
And I think I'm really hoping that that's like we keep that music because it's man, that is just some
John Powell has to be connected to the project or I'm not watching it.
Actually, what I was going to look up, I couldn't remember his name. He also did Shrek. Which I think,
funny?
Which is it's hilarious because like, the All Stars song. No, he didn't write that. That was Smash Mouth. But the fairy tale theme, the da 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 da.
Yes, that's also on my homework playlist.
Oh, he's got a lot of great just melodies.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your number 4.
All right, my number 4 is The Prince of Egypt.
Wow, good one.
Thank you.
It's not on my list, but a great one.
Okay, well, specifically, Deliver Us, with an honorable mention of Burning Bush, but I listened to Deliver Us way more than I listened to Burning Bush because when I listen to the Burning Bush song, I cry every time, and it's not like a movie beautiful cry. It's like an ugly cry when I listen to Burning Bush.
Yeah.
So Deliver Us is my go-to. It's just like, the sweat on my brow. Do you hear your people cry? So that's my number 4.
That's a great one. That's not something that I thought about, but it's supposed to try something I sing a lot.
Yes, yeah. You've got a good Deliver Us Prince of Egypt voice. Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Hey, can I compliment you on this pod?
Yeah, you can. We're cool. You can say that.
I got that.
You're rocking a great mustache right now.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out for our full video podcast. You can see my mustache.
Shout out for Andrew's mustache, everyone.
Shout out to Andrew's mustache.
Oh, that's great. My number 4 is Harry Potter. Is this on your list?
You're so right. It's not on my list, but I'm thinking of songs on any of the scores for individual movies, and they're like really good.
Yeah. I guess I didn't specify, but I was intentionally like first movie. It's John Williams did the first 3 scores. But then they changed several people. I apologize. Can you look up who did the Deathly Hallows for me?
Yeah, I mean the director changed.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the project's a lot darker.
Yeah, and I just think even the composer who ended that one was really like even Deathly Hollows, which I feel like we're so far from John Williams at that point. But wow, just some quality music in that as well. But yeah, I think specifically Hedwig's theme, yeah, which is the opening title sequence to Harry Potter. Dun, 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 and wow, just what an incredible theme. I mean, John Williams is just, I love to do it because I'm seeing a pattern. There's a lot of Hans Zimmer and there's a lot of John Williams.
Yeah.
These lists.
John Powell.
Yeah, John Powell. He's there too.
Yeah, so Alexandre Desplat is a French composer. He also did, he does a lot of Wes Anderson movies. So I think the last 3 or 4 Wes Anderson projects he's been connected to.
And that's really cool to see a movie too, that like a series like this does, like Harry Potter does get so much more darker as it goes on, to have someone who's a lot more atmospheric than John Williams. You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Let's hear your next.
Wow. So number 3 for me is The Lord of the Rings.
It's on my list.
Surprise.
Bet your bottom dollar it's higher.
I assumed. So we'll move on to your number 3.
Yep. My number 3 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Very cool. Tell me.
I mean, again, Hans Zimmer. He's a pirate, though. We've talked about this before. It was actually, it's weird because I don't know, like, legally what happened. I believe if someone has anything to do with the song, like when it's being written, even if that person doesn't contribute a lot, it's still 100% both of their songs. So I don't know exactly how much Hans Zimmer did and how much Klaus Bennett did, but he is very much prominent on the He's a Pirate theme, which is the da 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 da,
so iconic.
I mean, that song alone is just like one of the most exciting movie moments. Just like, it's such a good song, very melodic. Yeah. And I know you love it too. I was gonna say, what do you have to say? What do you enjoy about?
Man, I do love that. The one song that stands out to me from all of the Pirates movies is One Day. And it's mostly because if you follow me on Spotify, Andrew McKay, you'll see a playlist entitled Film Scores That Make Me Feel Something. And of all of the pirate songs, One Day makes me want to weep in my hands.
Here, I'll sing it for you right now. Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing.
And then I pray, come take me soon. Because I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown.
I drowned. So that's not the song we're talking about.
No.
So remind me of this song.
I mean, I don't play instruments. I can't.
Is this then the da 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 da?
Yes, that one.
Okay. Yep. So like the emotional climax to At World's
Yes.
End.
Is anyone surprised that Andrew is connected mostly to the emotional song?
Hey, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it is such a solid score. And I'm someone that, like, when those movies were coming out, the third one was regarded as not one of the better ones, excuse me.
Sure.
But man, the soundtrack, once again, I feel like the soundtrack, it just keeps hitting.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, that's my, oh wait, no, that was yours. Sit down, Heath. It's my time to talk.
I did stand. If you are watching or if you're audio only, I did just stand up. Yeah. In a
Super
sense.
offended. Is there anything else you want to say? Because I talked for most of that one.
No, that's great. I love that. All right, so that was my number 3. What's your number 3?
Well, my number 3 you have.
Okay, so what's
yours? So my number 2
Yes.
is Star Wars. And I can be specific because I have a specific movie.
I actually also have. Okay, so my number 2 is Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Did we just become best friends?
Wait, should we do a podcast together?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to say mine first.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Wow.
And I have a specific song. What is your movie? What movie?
I know exactly. I bet I know what song. Okay, I really struggled because I'm gonna have to go. I'm going. Okay, everyone, calm down. Andrew, sit back down. I see you raising off that chair. I'm gonna go.
Just punch
Original-
myself in the face.
Good.
I'm sorry, technical difficulties.
Oh man, so I'm gonna have to go original trilogy for my favorite, but I will say the prequels, I think some of the best parts of the prequels are the score. John Williams has so much good music in all three of them, but The Phantom Menace episode 2 and 3, he has main themes in each of them that I think are so powerful. You got a Duel of the Fates in episode 1. Battle of Heroes in 3, dun, da, 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 da. And
my heart just palpitated.
yep, it palpitined.
Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I have a video from when my daughter was new to this world, and I was telling her the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. She didn't care. That was the first time she sighed. Actually, video proof, the first time she sighed at me.
Good, Anakin, good.
And there's a second theme, or there's a theme in the second movie, and I'm guessing that's what you're gonna do. But what is this for you?
So the song is, I'm so sorry, it's not what you think it is. But who's surprised? The song is Love Pledge and the Arena.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
He goes, oh.
Oh, okay. So here's my thing.
Yeah.
What you've picked though is still the main theme of Across the
Yes,
Stars.
it's
which
a
is the da,
reinterpretation.
da, 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 da.
Absolutely.
But you didn't go for the big rolling in the field romantic moment. You went for the subtle emotional beat.
I went for the moment that the first time that Padme confesses her love to Anakin, she says, "I love you." And he like looks at her like a high school boy, like a freshman looks at a senior who just got asked to prom. And he's like, "Are you serious? You love me?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do. But I'm telling you this because we're going to die." So
Because you're gonna die.
we're both, yeah, she thought that they were both going to die. She's like, we can't die and not, you can't know that we can't die. And I don't want you to think that I don't love you if we're going to die.
It's powerful.
Yeah. So love confession really got me.
This is a great, but I sense in you. I love that your emotional connection really kind of trumps a lot of, not like negates from quality, but really emphasizes those pieces. Like that's really cool. And it's like, it's music. It should have an emotional response. So that's cool.
Yeah. I think as someone who does not play any instruments and has never produced any music on his own, I have a very deep emotional reaction to music, and that is the draw. That's what keeps me coming back to music. So for film scores, when I say like that playlist is called film scores that make me feel something, it's true. You know, like I listen to the Love Pledge and the Arena, and I think of moments in my life where I've been watching that movie, and I've not only am I emotionally connected to those characters, I'm emotionally invested in Anakin and Padme, but it also is a nostalgia hit for me because I can remember stages of my life where I've watched this movie and I've heard this music before.
That's awesome. It's powerful stuff.
Oh, praise God.
All right. So is this it? Are we?
I think you're number 2, right?
No, that was my number 2. That was both of ours. So we know what my number 1 is. So let's do this. Let's do my number 1 because it was your number 4, I believe.
3.
It was your number 3.
Yeah.
So my number 1, and then we'll do yours.
Okay,
Your number 1.
right.
My number 1 is The Lord of the Rings.
Amazing.
If I had to choose a movie, it would be Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
But it is such a cohesive piece. It's that soundtrack is just so much of it's attached to my favorite movie. That's one of the reasons why it's my favorite movie. It's just an epic. I would say the same thing about Star Wars, specifically the prequel. I think some of these movies you could cut out the dialogue and you could just have a movie score and visuals, and I think that would be just an experience. It's tough to pin down specifically, but I would say honestly, just like Concerning Hobbits is like my happy song. Da 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 da. And I think the whole movie they keep returning to that because it's connecting them to home, and just like the safety of home. But what a great soundtrack, and I love it. I love every piece, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what's one of your favorite?
Yeah, I have The Shire, which again, it starts with that like little thing. Hopefully, if you could hear my whistling, I don't know if our audio is gonna not catch my whistling, but
it was a good whistle.
Thank you. It starts with that same like home base that the Lord of the Rings is known for, and I was stuck between The Shire and Rivendell. And The Shire goes more into like Hobbit. We're eating food, we're drinking, we're having like pleasant, happy lives. And the Rivendell starts exactly the same, but I believe it's the same, I don't know what you call it, like the riff, the same notes, the same.
Like a melody.
Like, melody, that's the word. So the Rivendell starts with the same melody of The Shire. The Shire is with strings, I believe, and the Rivendell is with some sort of like woodwind, like a flute or something like that, and it goes directly into like almost like a Halo thing, like some beautiful singing to reveal the city of Rivendell. And I went with The Shire because it's just so cozy. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Rivendell's like, oh, you found something new and glorious, but The Shire is like, your home is the best place to be. Yeah. Love it.
And speaking of being a fool of a toque, I have been a fool. I did not name my Star Wars favorite song. Yeah.
What is it?
I led up to it and I went, it's the Force theme, Obi-Wan's theme, specifically the binary sunset. Luke's looking over the twin sunset of Tatooine, and just like the longing for something more, the hope of becoming something. And it reminded me of that Lord of the Rings where Luke wants to get out, and I think Frodo wants to stay. Like he finds comfort in home, but he has to go to save that home,
Man,
I feel like
sing it, dude. That's so true. Which brings me to my number one.
Let's hear your number one. Here we go.
It is Dune Part 2.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, truly. As I said,
this isn't a prank?
No, it's not. I know that
you kept pushing Dune 2 on.
No, I'm sorry. I know it's a joke to just say Dune Part 2 for movie questions. I've seen Dune 2 once, but I've listened to the soundtrack, which is long, 4 times beginning to end.
Wow.
With like almost no interruption, like whether it's homework or washing the dishes, doing chores, stuff like that. It's so good. I think like I'm going to buy Dune 2, like the soundtrack. I'm going to buy that on vinyl and just play it around the house. It is amazing, particularly A Time of Quiet Between the Storms. That is on track to be my most played song of the entire year. Like of everything I'm playing, I'm listening to that song the most consistently. It's so beautiful. It's so calming. It's so focusing. Like you can hear the sand blowing in the wind. It's just amazing. I love it.
That's awesome. And I don't have a lot to add to that. Like I loved it when I saw it, but I have not really revisited it. And I only watched it that one time. But wow, that is your favorite soundtrack.
Yeah, sure is.
That's really cool. Well, awesome. Thanks for joining us on this favorite movie score. We did have a fight. I don't mean to say that. I was joking. We always
Keith and I fight all the time.
We're big brawlers. I mean, bare knuckle boxing, just punching each other in the face. But no, we did have a discussion of like scores versus soundtracks, you know, and there's some like gray area there. So like, I'd love to do an episode on just like usage of songs in movies, like All-Star, you know?
Yeah.
Bam. Do you have a question of the day for us?
Yeah. So, question of the day. Would you rather I lost half of it. Would you rather
What dramatic pause. Wow.
A dramatic pause.
Just sucking me in.
Would you rather read your favorite movie as a book or watch your favorite book as a movie?
You have your answer?
No, you go first.
Oh, no. Say it again.
Would you rather read your favorite movie as a book or watch your favorite book as a movie? I think I have my answer.
All right, let's hear it.
I would rather watch my favorite book.
I mean, I am such a movie fan. I think I would say that too.
Yeah.
I feel like I am a visual person, and it's a bummer that we don't get good adaptions like we want sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's always my thought when I'm reading a book is, I'd love to see this as a movie, you know?
Just, I would love to see this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. The visual. And I think a lot of that is credit to the author because they make it such a interesting idea, and your imagination uses that, but it's like, I want to see that, you know? And unfortunately, sometimes it's a letdown because it's not as good as what you thought, or, you know, what the author described, but
it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It does happen. Oh, great question, man.
Thank you.
Tune in next week for, speaking of Dune, is Star Wars a Dune ripoff?
Uh-oh. The answer may surprise you.
The answer may surprise you. No, yeah, we just want to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff that's like, man, talk about all the things that me and you love tied together. It's Star Wars, and then the author of Dune is like, you stole this from me. And also Tolkien has some stuff to say about Dune. It's just like literally ties together everything. And then the Master Chief shows up. And then, you know, they play magic.
Perfect.
All right, take us home.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. As always, you can find our podcast wherever you get podcasts. You can find our full video show on YouTube. You can see me show off the coaster live and in person. When we post on Instagram, share it, like it, comment. We love to interact with everybody. Send it to your mom. She loves movies. That's a catchphrase now.
Share it with your mom.
Share it with your mom. If you don't follow us on Instagram yet, you can find us at Your Feature Presentation. Thanks for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. Go see a movie.
Go see a movie.